Wargamer 101 here, Bruce. I will be your tour guide today. Something different video-wise. We're going to do a video after action report for Gary Grigsby's War in the East. This is a humdinger of a game, and this is the start of turn 11. So I'm thinking I'm going to do about every 10 turns do a video after action report so you guys can get a really good sense of how this game is working and how my progress is moving. 10 turns is a good chunk of movement and combat, and maybe I'll do a time lapse between map positions or something. Who knows? I don't know. So for those who are uninitiated, this is a huge game. And when I say huge, as I zoom out here, this is the map. All the way from the Baku oil fields all the way up to Finland, but not all the way up to Murmansk. And all the way over to the Ural Mountains and over to, Magdeburg and Berlin and stuff like that. You can see it's a beautiful map. And you can see my general progress at the start of 11 turns. I'm getting closer on the Dnieper Loop here in the south. I'm pushing forward on on Kiev, and I'm pushing forward in the Army Group Center and, of course, Army Group North. Now, I will go through each area separately. My one thing about this game that I really like is I think this game, of all the strategic level World War II Russian front games, shows the weakness of the Russians at the start of the conflict, and as the game moves forward, they get better. It's all in the mechanics. It's all behind the screen. You don't really have to mess with it. So, of course, I am playing the Germans. As you can see, the Finns have pushed all the way up to their no attack line, and they are still trying to take Port Hanko. So, but if you come up here and you do supply, you can see that the Russians here are orange, so they have less supply than they should. All right, so basically the Finns cannot attack past this line. All right, so basically they just get up to it and they sit there. And they do hold some Russian units because I guess technically the Russians did not know that they weren't going to attack. Now, also I have done my scouting with my planes already here, or most of it, so I've got an idea of their units that they have. Okay, I'm with 23rd Army Group, 23rd Corps Army Group North. This unit is made almost exclusively of reinforcements that I decided that I needed to get up there so they could push along the North Coast Road towards Leningrad, because in this game and in real life, I guess, the Germans did not give enough troops to really cover the territory that they had to cover. And as you can see, here is 4th Panzer Group, which consists of 41st Panzer Corps, 56th Panzer Corps, which is a bunch of Panzer Grenadiers and a few armor divisions and some other stuff. Now, I also have 18th Army coming up, pushing this flank, trying to. They cannot go too much further north because I cannot leave this section unprotected, even at this stage. And when the winter strikes, the Russians have a tendency to want to come through the Valdai Hills here and push the flank. And that is how you got the Reserve pocket in historic. The Germans had taken Reserve, and then the Russians pushed down and pushed down and pushed down until the Germans cleared it back up again. Now, over here, I have 16th Army pushing on Veliky Luki. The reason I'm pushing on Veliky Luki is because I wanted to cut this north-south railroad, which I have cut, but this is a nice railroad north-south here. Once you get that cleared and up to Novgorod, you've got a good supply chain. And plus, this terrain in here is going to be good for defensive purposes come wintertime. I also have a very small Second Army, which I need to transfer to Army Group North. Let me do that. Well, do I want them to be the border on Army Group North? You know what? That's a good idea. So what we'll do is we'll sit here and we'll go a little game stuff here. And we'll say Army Group North, it's going to cost us 36 admin points. But now I'm going to be getting my supply from over here at Riga at Army Group North. Okay. So the line, the demarcation point between Army Group North and Army Group South will be this small army. And what I tend to like to do is keep it along the Dvinia, this Miza River here that goes down to the Dvina, and that goes out here to the Riga. So I like to try to keep things separated so I don't have to worry about supply so much. Now, this is Army Group 9th Army, and it is pushing through the gap here, the Vitebsk and Smolensk gap. And as you notice here, 2nd Panzer Group has Smolensk surrounded. I tried to get a bigger encirclement here, but I thought I would take the Smolensk and get it done with. And over here we have 3rd Panzer Group, and it's pushing south, and its ultimate goal is going to just push the line and try to get to Bryansk. Whereas 2nd Panzer is going to try to get to Vyazma. This army is going to try to get to Rezev. This army is going to try to push forward to get to the Volga here, and basically hold the and get a river line. I don't know if I'll get to Volga before snow, but I'll definitely get here to Dvina, the Dvina River, for sure. So there's that. Now come down south towards Mogilev. You can see I've got Minsk. I've got all my airplanes here ready to go. And I've got, this is 4th Army from Army Group Center. It's pushing forward. It's going to try to get to this river line here along the Desna and to get to Chernigov. My biggest thing is to try to take Gomel, because once I take Gomel and my railroad converters convert this line, it is a straight line from Brest, Litovsk, through the swamp to Gomel for supply purposes. And this is Army Group, this is OKH. And up here, we have, this is Army Group North, okay, and then we have No, we don't want to do that. Why did I do that? Fortunately, you have sometimes the controls are a little snicky, but, oh, yeah, here it is. I have Army Group Center at Minsk, so my supply line is there. Okay, now we come through and we've got, if we go to the terrain, what areas are claimed, as you can see, I still haven't cleared out all of the swamp, but once I get to a certain point, it clears it out automatically for you. There is a partisan there, and I'll show you how you take care of partisans. You take a security unit, boom. So as long as you have security divisions and battalions hanging around, they can get to the 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 partisans. Okay, here we have Kiev, and this is Army Group South, and this is 6th Army. I've got my Luftwaffe up here. I'm about to take Zhytomyr, and I'm going to move forward to try and push onto Kiev. I've got all my minor allies on the flank here. These are Romanians, the purple guys, and the blue and the gray are Germans. So we're pushing forward. We have some more here. They're going to come up and hang out. I've got all of their air forces and right here. And once I get better supply line, I will move them forward. I will get to supply in a minute. Here are the Italians coming into play. They're kind of bad. Now, what I did was when I was fighting, I held back my armor units here for Army Group South, and I basically pounced on Odessa with a bunch of the Panzers and took it out as fast as possible. I didn't want to mess with it because I want to get the supply line going. And right here, this is the remnants of what was in Odessa that retreated. Basically 3 rifle divisions, and they're basically going to be knocked down eventually by. Let's see what they're seeing. They're on low supply too. So, all right. I'm holding these guys here on the flank as I get more units to fill in this line, and my objective is to fill in the line and take Zaporozhye and Dnepropetrovsk and have my line on the Dnieper River come winter, because a lot of these Romanian and Allied troops are not that strong. Okay. And you can see this guy here, just as an example, he's moving forward as a reinforcement. And I've got more units in like Hungary here, but they are not activated yet. And I've got more units here in Romania that are going to be activated. And they're slowly being activated. It's like this guy here. He's a cavalry unit, and he's going to be, he's active now. So I have to move him this turn. So I've got more Italians, but they're not activated yet either. All of my reinforcements generally come in here at Magdeburg or over here at, I think it's Salzburg. Yeah, Salzburg over here. So that's where I'm at right now on just the overview. As you can see, there's lots of airplanes back here. Lots of airplanes. Bunches of airplanes. And, okay, yeah, that's what I'll do. Okay, now, we'll go back up north again, and I'll show you the railroad and supply situation. Now, of course, in Finland, their supply sources are these 2 red hexes. Anything that's green is proper German uh, gauge rail. Okay. Anything that is orange is showing that it's being converted or fixed. Okay. So the fins are well within supply. They don't have anything to worry about. Okay, so now we come over here to the Latvia and Estonia, and and we can see now all of this was not converted. Now, anything within this Baltic states rail zone, each hex costs 1 movement point to fix. Anything outside of that zone, like over here, is 3 movement points to fix. And that's with these guys. These are this is the construction, basically a construction core all by itself. Okay, and you can see what's attached to it, labor detachments, etc., etc. So it's the main ones that you use as the Germans to convert where you really want to go first. Okay, and then the little ones over here, these little construction battalions, they're automated and they're run by the computer. So you can see that they're all, and they're much slower because they're just battalions. So as you can see, they're basically converting the Baltics over here. Now I had to make from here on at the river. I had to come up here to Riga, and then I had to come up and come over here to Pskov so I can get supply, and then to Lenin, and I'm going to come over here so I can keep these guys in supply. Now you can see I'm not all the way to Pskov, and I really am. I'm not stretched yet totally on supply up here, but I'm definitely need to get this done. Now, as you can see in this middle section, nothing here. From the Army group, I came down here all the way down to Minsk and all the way across, and I'm going to Smolensk. That is going to be my main supply route until I can spread out. And this one came from Brest Litovsk. God, that one's hard to say. And it came up here, and it's coming all the way over here to eventually get to Gomel. Okay, and then come up here to Mogilev. So, and then I can eventually move forward. So that's important. Now, some battalions are moving here slowly through the swamp to convert it. And as you can see here, all of this has been converted. And slowly but surely, they're creeping forward to convert uh, for Army Group South here. But my main one was I came down here to the south, and I came all the way over here to this construction battalion. I mean the corps, and he's coming all the way down to Odessa, and then he'll come back up here and to Nikolaev. So, and eventually up here to Kirvoy Rog. I'm just having trouble today pronouncing any non-English word, so bear with me. And then they'll eventually come up here to Kirovgrad, and that will keep all of this part of the line in supply. And then I will run the supply up the back edge here of the Dnieper to Kiev. And then slowly and surely these guys will fill in. So So the Italians are going to come here and hold this little corner south of Nikolaev. And what I'm hoping to do is get this armor. I know he's going to fill in and put stuff in front of me, but I'm thinking, I don't know, he's going to evaporate. He's going to, this, I'm going to push him here and he's just going to evaporate back behind Kiev. But that's okay. I'll still kill units. But I need to get a fairly secure river line for the winter. And that's my objective at this time, is to kill as many Russians as possible and then um, move forward. These guys, these guys are gonna. I'm gonna try. Maybe I can get with these guys here on the coast road. Maybe I can cut off some guys in here with the armor, and if I could cut off like 20 or 30 infantry divisions, maybe. But I'm really stretched thin. So if you come over here, now this game is easily the most complex game I've ever played. You can do so much stuff with this game. You can get into the nuts and bolts as deep as you want to get. And uh, the info screens, um, so to give you an idea, here are the losses by turn for the Russians. And these are the actual things I've killed, like 6 armored divisions, 7 motorized, 35 infantry, 40 fortified regions. I mean, you can see there. And you can count it. You can sit there and look turn by turn what you killed. Okay. So I killed 34 units on the first turn. So that's 30, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, well, maybe 150 units or so. You can come over here and look at your losses of air. You can see how many planes you killed of the Russians on the ground, et cetera, et cetera. You can look at the ground losses. You can look at it by turn. I mean, it's super, super detailed. So you can sit here and go, okay, the Germans have lost 83,164 men killed to 1,482,272 men killed. No, that's not killed. That's losses. So I've killed 226,616 Russians. Okay, that's I've captured almost a million. So you can see how many vehicles you've lost. You can see all of your German losses per turn by unit by what it was. So this last turn of Panzer 3H's, I lost 4. Okay, and I've lost a total of 60. So you can sit here and go through this if you really want to, just like massive amount of information. And you can see I'm scrolling. Look at all the Soviets. You can see all the Soviet tanks you killed. Look at that. I've only killed one. I've killed 203 KV1s, 134 KV2s. Okay, so like I said, you can sit there and dig down deep. Now, you can also look at, you can show the weather. Here are all the weather zones. You can mess with your air doctrine. You can look at your incoming reinforcements. So it's like on turn 13, I'm going to get 2 Panzer divisions, which will be very helpful. And I might send them to the north. Might send them to the north. Might keep them in the center too, though. But so you can see that, and you can scroll down for I think you can look at all your total turns. Look at that. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Look at all those units on the 53rd. That's 42. So that's right before the uh, the big uh, push for the summer offensive. So, but you can sit there and look at what's disbanded, what's withdrawn. I mean, it's just crazy. So, before I get further into the weeds, just want to say thanks for watching. If you like this video and you want to see some more after action reports, uh, press like, make a comment, and uh, I'll see you in 10 turns, and we'll see where we're at. So, thanks for watching. Press the like button, press the subscribe button. Appreciate it immensely. This has been Wargamer 101, and I'm Bruce, and I will see you on the flip side.